I'm Jean Talentire. I've come to Medellin because of what I've read about Medellin. We are due to retire and give up sailing our boat, which is now in Malaysia. But with many thoughts and looking into different places in the world, we have settled on Medellin after lots of thought over a year. Now we're here, it's wonderful. We've been here 5 days and I've had nothing but joy here, which is not what I expected. So I've had some very moving times, and we've now had David and we've had Louise to show us different areas of Medellin which are of interest, of where we may be able to live or think of living or purchase property, which is very, very reasonable in price compared to New Zealand or Australia or, you know, most other parts of the world. In Thailand and Malaysia, which have very limited construction law, I feel, that probably goes for a lot of places, but I think from what I see here that the construction of buildings looks very sound. That's from what I see in the time I've been here. They're very, very substantial, and they seem to be very structurally. They show a lasting a contour, which is very important. Foreigners should come to Medellin, I think, because seeing it on the internet is not like being here. You need to come here to feel the warmth of the people. Even though I don't speak Spanish, which is a trial, because in some ways it's a trial, but the people here are very helpful. And we are living, at the moment we're staying in an apartment, probably in an average area, and we've had nothing but help from people to show us directions, helping in the supermarket to buy food. Whenever I've wanted something, I've found it. I've just found everybody very helpful.
Well, my name is Jim, and originally from New Zealand, but we sailed our yacht from New Zealand to Thailand, and now we want to retire from sailing, and we read about Medellin and Colombia in general, and it sounded very attractive, so we're here to look around and see how we feel. It seems very reasonable. We've just spent a couple of weeks in Miami in Florida, and when you compare it with that, Medellin is a paradise. It's on a par with what we've been used to in Asia, I would say, as far as cost of living is concerned. But the food is better here, and yes, we find it very very reasonable.
Yes. Well, it's not just the food. The food is the cost of living is much lower, and I think the flats, or the housing,
accommodation, everything is much more reasonable.
Yes. And
New Zealand is becoming unaffordable, and a lot of Western countries are the same these days. So.
And the city also here is so green because of the weather. There's trees everywhere. Whatever street you're in on our tour today, there's just lines of trees in the streets, and it's very tropical without being tropical. How I found real estate in Colombia. I was checking the net to try and find a place or somebody that could give me information about property in Medellin, and I went through different interviews with different places, and I came across some very promising reviews from people who had bought property here through David and Louise, and so I thought I would phone them and see, what they had to offer. So we've had nothing but very good, great really. David met us for a quick coffee to check out what we wanted. He was very efficient, he arrived on time, we went through it, and we have now met up with David again, who has taken us on a great tour throughout the city to all the different areas that he can suggest that we may like to, purchase or live, or the possibility of what's in different areas, and it's whatever you would like to have. And I think we've had a very good overview of Medellin.
I would recommend real estate in Colombia because one of the difficulties for foreigners coming here is possibly the lack of ability to speak Spanish initially, and having people fluent in your own language is a definite help. Of course, if you settle here permanently, then a priority for us certainly would be to learn to speak Spanish, because then you interact with local people much better. And anyway, I'm sure that real estate in Colombia will be helpful in all those areas. We feel very comfortable.
Yes.